Everybody, happy Monday. This is questions that need answers, where we'll be diving into some finance questions, personal finance questions that we should have the answers to. My name is Tremaine Wills. I own a company called Mind Over Money, where we are helping 1 million women and their families grow their invested assets to $1 million or more. And I'm super excited to teach and promote financial literacy. Hopefully, today's session will give you answers that you need. So, again, the topic for today is should I invest? And so, we're going to dive into the answer to that question. If you know anybody who could benefit from this, I encourage you to share it. Be sure to follow the platform that you're watching this on. And then, of course, turn on notifications so that you can be aware of the next time we're going live to answer this question. So I always like to know where this message is reaching. So if you can let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from, country, state, and I like to see like where this message is reaching. So let me know in the comments if you are watching live, and then if you are watching it on a replay, also let me know too, so I can see where it has gone after we've been live. So again, tuning in from Ohio. Thanks for joining. I am based in the Hampton Roads area in Virginia. And so, good morning. Super excited to see where else folks are tuning in from. More VA folks. Excellent. It's always interesting when people ask where my firm is based and I say Virginia, and then I have to come back and say Southern Virginia, Hampton Roads, not the DC area. Because, DC is a faster part of the state where many more businesses are central. We got Chicago, Atlanta by way of Hampton. All right, cool. All right, so reminder, we are answering the question, should I invest? All right, and then before I forget, I am having a live workshop. It's called Get Out of Debt and Get Rich. And so if you enjoy today's session, or if you want to register for that, it's completely free. You can text Get Rich to 757-300-5715. Or if you're watching this live on Instagram, you can simply comment or DM Get Rich, and you'll get that message to register for free. So again, that's on November 9th. We are going to be creating budgets, having a debt payoff strategy, and then investing. All right. So let's dive into it. So should I invest is the question, right? And if you know me, then you know the answer is absolutely yes, right? And a lot of us have the question as to what we should invest in and like some of the deeper intricacies. But for many folks, just this idea of getting started can be intimidating, right? Because there's not a guarantee that your money will perform to a particular standard. But I want to encourage you that even if you have a slight fear of investing, you want to learn about what it is, because it is the only way to build wealth. Not somebody trying to pitch me during my live. That's funny. Okay. Yes, investing is the only way to build wealth. So I want to talk about 3 key things that we need to dive into. The first one is we should invest because we want to beat inflation. And so if you are based in the United States, the inflation rate for the past 12 months was 3.7%. So what that means is the cost of services and goods in general increased 3.7%. And so if I am not ensuring that my money is growing by at least 3.7%, just on the basic foundational level, I'm losing out, right? And so it's important that our money is beating inflation. Otherwise, the bare things that we were trying to do the following year, we won't even be able to do just that. And we talk about like improvement, growth, wanting to make sure that we're accumulating wealth. But if we can't even beat inflation, then accumulation and wealth building is going to be near impossible. So I invest or choose things that are going to give me a return on my assets, because at a core, I need to beat inflation so that I can at least maintain what I'm doing. All right. So if you were in the US, the last 12 months ending in September, the inflation rate was 3.7%. So I need you to take a look at even just your savings, right? Because the return you get on your savings account, that's an investment, right? You should at least be getting 3.7%. And that's just to beat inflation. So that's number one. That's the first reason why we should invest. We can't just hide our cash under the mattress and, that be the only way that we are keeping our money. The money needs to work. So, number one is we need to beat inflation. Number two is that investing is the way to build wealth. So, it's important that we are being intentional about putting the assets to work. We cannot save our way to millions. And so, you need to make sure that the money is working harder. There are a ton of different investments, and that's beyond the scope of today's live, but it's not just the stock market. We have real estate investing. There's so many different opportunities and avenues to make the assets that you have compound for you. And so if you want to escape paycheck to paycheck cycles and you want to have things to pass on to the next generation, we need to be investing. All right, so that's number two. And then number three is for financial security and to be able to retire. So at some point, we want to be able to stop trading time for money and have our assets pay us so that we can do the things we want to do and not have to work. That happens by investing. So if you think about it like this, right? Right now, I am exchanging my time for money. And for many of us, we invest whatever's left over. But if I work for 40 years and I don't put away a high enough percentage of money so that for the next 40 years, I don't have to work, I'm going to run out of money. And so the money that we put away needs to work harder than we are working so that we can actually stop working. And so what that looks like is, maybe a $10,000 a year or however much you can afford to invest is gaining interest higher than inflation, and then enough so that when I do stop working, there's money available for me. All right. So it's important that we are investing because the money should be working. It needs to work harder than us. So at some point we can stop working hard. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. Right. So why should we invest? The answer is yes. And the reasons why are number one, we need to beat inflation. Inflation in the US right now for the last cycle as of September 2023 was 3.7%. So at a bare minimum, your assets need to be making more than 3.7%. Then number two is we need to build wealth. You cannot save your way to millions. All right. A lot of us want to be millionaires, and that's fine and dandy, right? We have lots of goals we want to accomplish. And if that is your objective, you should be investing. And then finally, for financial security and to be able to retire. So we want to make sure that we can stop working and we can do whatever we want to do with our time. That happens by investing. All right. So if you want to dive deeper into what it could look like to put together a plan for you, just a basic outline to ensure that you have your money working harder for you, join me for the free workshop on November 9th. It is called Get Out of Debt and Get Rich. And you can comment Get Rich if you're watching on Instagram, and you'll get a message to register for free. Or you can text 757-300-5715 to register for free. So we can start to get this baseline of how we want our finances to work for us. All right. So I got a couple moments. I'll wait to see if I see any questions. I see a comment here. Oh, good morning. Yes, I'm doing excellent, right? Monday is one of my favorite days. Thank you for tuning in. And so if you enjoyed this session, feel free to share it with anybody. Follow for more, and then turn the notifications on so that you know when I'm going live again to answer more questions about personal finance that should be answered. All right, guys. So I don't see any questions. Makes sense. Yep, I'm glad that was helpful. All right, everybody. I will see you next time for our next session on questions that need answers. Have a great day.